At this moment, Seok-hwan's inner turmoil seemed to be like a fierce and violent wave, his breath being choked by fear turning into stone, a numb sensation spreading throughout his scalp, his emotions becoming extremely chaotic and confused. I am dreaming the person whom mother struggled to bring back from the capital, forcing me to be humiliated like this by Chen Yuan, even though he is Lim Yong-won, but who is Jiang Shen Yu, the son of one of the top 8 Yanjing clans, being treated like this by him. Chen Yuan is truly crazy. Seeing this scene, Lin Yanqiu angrily shouted, "What are you doing? Do you know who Jiang Young Master is? Quickly let him go." Chen Yuan remained indifferent, right at the tense atmosphere. With just one sentence, he made everyone even more stunned. "Let him go, but he must fulfill his promise. Uncle you also heard it. Being a person means keeping your word. If you think words are just like passing wind, then I will release him immediately." We hadn't had a chance to speak yet when Jiang Shen Yu was being forced down to the ground by Chen Yuan and started to resist, desperately shouting, "Holy shit. Do you know who I am? You will regret it. You will definitely regret it." Lin Yanqiu continued to warn, "Do you know whose house this is? How dare you act like this? Don't ruin your life just because of a moment of recklessness." We gently intervened. "Words must be kept, but why should a joke from a young person be taken so seriously? Young people sometimes just joke with each other." Xiao Chen considered giving Mr. a face. "Let it go, be generous." Chen Yuan did not show any respect for Dong-wei with a very firm tone. "All right, if you intend to be biased, then there's no need to eat this meal anymore. It seems that this place is not welcoming to you. You go." Chen Yuan walked towards the door and suddenly turned back, a hint of ruthless gloom in his eyes. "Don't think that those in power are saints. Everyone has to flatter you. I don't care who you are, even though having money is not as good as having power. But that's just for ordinary people. I have a system. When someone has enough money to buy a whole country, then power means nothing to me. Truly think that a lackey of the Jiang family can overpower me. Let's see how good he can be." As soon as the idea was finished, Chen Yuan slammed the door shut, his demeanor leaving everyone shocked. This attitude of Chen Yuan made Lin Yanqiu's face turn pale with anger as he glared at Seok-hwan and scolded, "What's the reason for this? Really, what's the reason? Seok-hwan, is this how your friend behaves? Does he know whose house he is in? Really clueless." Seok-hwan only turned towards Dong-wei, resentfully complaining, "Father, why do you speak like this? Are you a bit unfair? Clearly Jiang Shen Yu has lost the bet. If he has lost, he should have the courage to admit it." Dong-wei remained silent, not knowing what to say. Since the moment Chen Yuan pushed the door to leave, old knew that everything had gone beyond his control. Hearing Seok-hwan defending the outsider, Lin Yanqiu angrily shouted, "Shut up! Seok-hwan, are you possessed or what that you dare to doubt my father?" Seeing the female tiger in the house acting so aggressively, Dong-wei fell into contemplation. He had only intended to investigate a little, but he did not expect the situation to escalate to this extent. This young man is too stubborn. He even dared to arrogantly leave the secretary's house. He is truly reckless, and where did he get the courage to disregard the Jiang family in the capital? Who is supporting him from behind? Could it be the Chen family in the capital? The Chen family ranks third among the top tycoons of Huaxia, and the heir of the Chen family is also an extraordinarily talented individual. It cannot be a coincidence, but it is said that the other person had come to the province as a secretary in the city of Tianmen about 20 years ago. He even had a girlfriend at that time. Then he was forced to return to the capital to marry another wealthy maiden. But that was a long time ago, and the woman is rumored to be pregnant. Could it be a coincidence of this magnitude? Thinking about it, we suddenly thought of a possibility. Damn it, could Chen Yuan be? But if he is not a biological son of the Chen family in the capital, who could have enough power to conceal all information about him, making all documents about him completely disappear, then there is only one possibility. Could Chen Yuan be the son of someone else? If that someone were to truly take the position of the leader one day, then Chen Yuan wouldn't have to. Then this is also an opportunity. Currently, Chen Yuan and Jiang Shen Yu are completely at odds. With Shen Yu's personality, this situation certainly cannot be resolved smoothly. I decide to remain neutral, standing on top of the mountain to watch the young couple fight. Let them duel with their surroundings and their formidable energies. Knowing that her dignity has been lost, no more face left, Jiang Shen Yu's eyes darken, her voice sounding like cutting nails on iron. "Aunt Lin, your family and mine are close. Our families are also considered acquainted. Being humiliated like this today, I must demand justice. That brat Chen Yuan must pay the price. I know he is a friend of Seok-hwan, but this is between me and him. I hope the family will not interfere. I hope you and Aunt can remain neutral." After saying this, Jiang Shen Yu was so angry that her veins bulged on her face. Gritting her teeth, her eyes filled with a deep sense of resentment. As long as the family doesn't intervene, I am completely certain I will handle Shen Yuan to the point where he won't recognize himself. Lim Yong Wong, right? I will make him regret being born in this world. Upon hearing Jiang Shen Yu's words, Se-kwan became extremely worried. Not knowing what trouble the Jiang family would bring to Shen Yuan, she quickly ran into the room and immediately called Shen Yuan. As soon as Chen Yuan answered the phone, Se-kwan spoke up. Chen Yuan, why did you suddenly push the door and leave? Do you know that doing so will make your parents very unhappy, no matter what they are? But before Se-kwan could finish, Chen Yuan cut in directly with a question. No matter what they are, I can see the situation today. Jiang Shen Yu has insulted me before, but my father seems to place great importance on the Jiang family's face without respecting mine. What does that mean, that I am not as valuable as him? Or do you think that Lim Yong Wong coming to our house also has no right to speak up? Se-kwan couldn't help but feel guilty hearing this, but thinking about Jiang Shen Yu's words, she gave a fiery reminder. Your father didn't mean that. Today, Jiang Shen Yu was humiliated. He will surely retaliate against you. His status is extraordinary, not something ordinary rich kids can compare to. Besides, your parents said they wouldn't intervene in this matter. You will face trouble, especially with Fi Dun's side already attracting attention. If you lose their protection, you will encounter big problems. After listening to that, Shen Yuan couldn't understand why he felt a little happy. Recently, Fi Dun also made a fortune on his own, and he had nowhere to spend his money. If that kid did that, then I have to thank him. Then he responded challengingly. Trouble? It's just a few things. Let him come here. I've been waiting too long. This statement from Shen Yuan made Se-kwan feel that he was not aware of the serious consequences. She advised Shen Yuan. I know you can't stand being offended, but if your Film City project is being harassed by someone, you won't make money and you may lose all your capital. If you really go bankrupt, thousands of people will suffer. Chen Yuan, go apologize to Jiang Shen Yu. After hearing this from Se-kwan, Chen Yuan suddenly felt an indescribable joy, both excited and extremely happy. Since I have $90,000 billion, the most painful thing for me is having so much money and not knowing how to spend it all. Oh my God, the more I spend, the more it piles up. Just spending a few tens of billions of dollars casually, people are amazed, yet they hesitate to accept the money. They will only accept it if I find a reason to spend it. Now it's really difficult to spend hundreds of billions. It's not easy at all. In the phone, Chen Yuan sincerely said from the bottom of his heart, please stop talking. I don't know where to spend so much money. My lifelong goal is to go bankrupt one day. Hurry up a bit so I can go bankrupt. Don't disappoint me. Se-kwan didn't know what to say. She tried to advise carefully. Are you out of your mind, Chen Yuan? Stop saying those useless words. If you don't think about yourself, at least think about the people, the employees under your management. They need jobs to support their families, pay off home loans, buy cars, save money for weddings and engagements. If Fi Dun goes bankrupt, do you intend to let tens of thousands of people lose their jobs with you? Shen Yuan, go apologize. Bow down to Jiang Shen Yu. I will persuade my father to solve this matter. Patience leads to calm seas. Stepping back leads to wide oceans and high skies. Chen Yu was happy, but making him apologize to the one who humiliated him. Sorry, I can't do it. Right after that, Chen Yuan got annoyed and angrily said, are you crazy? Stop talking nonsense. As soon as Chen Yuan hung up, Se-kwan went crazy. When has a wealthy young lady like me been treated like this? I kindly helped solve the problem, but not only was it unappreciated, but they also dared to hang up my phone. Forget it, I don't care. The person involved is not in a hurry, but someone outside is rushing for what? Early the next morning in the three cities of Tianmen, Xiantao, and Kanjiang, a sudden land purchasing restriction was announced overnight. This restriction was only aimed at land planning in the film city. It really left people speechless. Soon, Fi Dun also received this news. A female assistant quickly ran to report to Rector Yu. It's not good. Seeing the assistant in a hurry, Yu Ling Shuang remained calm on her elegant face and then reminded in a low voice, what's the matter to scream like that? Calm down. The female assistant presented the news to Yu Ling Shuang and then complained, Director Yu, why suddenly issue a land purchasing restriction like this? I really can't understand. City Line 5, Line 6, what's worth restricting the land purchase for? Are these leaders losing their minds? They don't want the locality to develop. They don't want to create achievements for themselves. Yu Ling Shuang took the tablet and looked at the screen, frowning at the headline. This home purchase restriction order is really too strict. Local residents are only allowed to own a maximum of 2 houses. Those without local household registration must prove they have paid social insurance or local taxes for at least 5 years. Are leaders just looking for trouble for themselves? If big cities like Maduo, Yanjing, or even second-tier cities issue home buying restrictions, it's understandable. With limited land and a large population, home buying limits are reasonable. The assistant continued to explain, her voice unable to contain her anger. Typically, if there's a home purchase restriction order, there should be advance notice. This time there was no indication at all. Suddenly issued overnight, it's too unreasonable and illogical. They might be targeting us. They don't know how many employment issues Feedun's capitalism has solved. How many will be unemployed if we collapse? Do they not think of the serious consequences? These leaders just don't want to work anymore. There hasn't been any losses yet, just that we sold many houses in those 3 places before transferring ownership. Now we're stuck. Yu Lingshuang heard that her face also became serious. She began to analyze the intention behind this action. A purchase limit order is not significant. Furthermore, after the house purchase limit order to prevent speculation will help stabilize house prices, this will support the sustainable development of the film city. Of course, first of all, the immediate problems must be addressed. At this time, the house has not been transferred, but has been restricted. So the money for buying the house must be returned. If not returned, the public will be angry. But if returned, the corporation will have financial problems. The capital chain will be broken. The worst case must be considered. If caught in a negative spiral, losing public trust, this project will collapse at the critical moment. Yu Lingshuang immediately showed determination. CLI, don't panic, everything has a solution. Now the money must be returned immediately. As long as they want, and will refund at the current market price, not letting the public lose trust in the Feidum Corporation. A large enterprise must have the courage to take responsibility. Now you call the big banks to ask about our loan situation. More people may come to demand refunds. The rest I need to negotiate with Lim Yong Won. We will have a solution soon. The female assistant dare not delay for a second, hurriedly bowed respectfully. I will go right away. After 10 minutes, the female assistant returned with a worried look on her face. Director Yu, the $150 billion loan has been rejected by major banks. They cited delays and lack of credibility as reasons for not granting the loan. Yu Lingshuang raised her hand to stop her, looking up at the sky. Anxiousness appeared on her elegant face. It seems like the banks want Feidun to solve the problem on his own. Feidun has invested heavily in the Film City project with potential losses of $20 to $30 billion, and the capital chain is breaking. Someone is pulling the strings behind the scenes. Only the all-powerful owner can help now. At this moment, no matter how determined Yu Lingshuang was, as soon as Chen Yuan answered the phone, she felt like a fragile butterfly. Her beautiful eyes were now filled with complex emotions. Boss, this is CEO Yu. There's a problem. I know the group's capital chain is having issues. It's nothing new. Ever since Seok-hwan hung up the phone, it was only a matter of time before something happened on Feedun's side, but I didn't expect Jiang Chen Yu to act so quickly. However, Yu Lingshuang felt extremely impressed in her eyes. This man seems to have predicted this situation beforehand. It's truly amazing. This isn't just a coincidence, but rather his intelligence and extraordinary foresight, as if he can predict the future. After that, Yu Lingshuang began summarizing the situation. Feidun Capital is facing a crisis. Major banks are refusing to disburse the approved $150 billion loan. There are signs that home buyers are being instigated from behind, potentially leading to a chain reaction of refund demands. If this truly happens, it will cause massive economic and reputational damage to the Feidun Group. Yu Lingshuang explained meticulously. The story lasted for 20 minutes. Every detail was clearly laid out. Shen Yuan listened until he finished all 5 bowls of noodles. He was starting to get a little impatient. After explaining, Yu Lingshuang bowed her head and blamed herself. I'm sorry, boss. I thought I could handle everything well. But I didn't expect such a sudden situation. The situation changed so quickly. Didn't give you time to react, boss. I disappointed you. It's true that Yu Lingshuang recently didn't demand money, which made Chen Yuan very upset. But when Chen Yuan heard it, he was not worried at all, but rather excited and happy to the point of madness. Finally, I have a chance to spend money. Thank God. Facing such a danger, I can spend even more money. Then Chen Yuan said with a sky-high attitude, Okay, you haven't disappointed me. On the contrary, I am very satisfied with you. If the bank doesn't lend, what about the buyer asking for a refund? We can freely refund them. They withdraw now, may not necessarily want to buy back in the future. Remember to refund them at the highest market price. Not missing a penny, we are a big company and must appear generous. I will transfer any money we lack to you. After hearing, Yu Lingshuang felt impressed by Chen Yuan's actions. Boss, you are truly talented and wise. Going against the tide, this is the way to solve the problem. At first glance, the behavior seems foolish, causing great losses to the corporation. But if you decisively refund more than the market price, people will start to doubt in the property purchase limit. is a proof of the potential rise in Tiananmen housing prices. In the future, the prices of land and housing in the film city will be higher than in the urban area, even on par with Yanjing. This could be a great business strategy if executed well. This risk can turn into an opportunity for the boss. Your skill at taking one step back to move two steps forward is truly amazing. Although knowing that Shen Yuan calculated like a god, but this time the intention was so high beyond the comprehension of Yu Ling Xuan, so she carried a ray of doubt in her heart and asked, "But if we use the highest market price, then the entire compensation could amount to $30 billion, even though this amount may be somewhat exaggerated, but not everyone in Yanjing needs to pay that price." To this issue, Chen Yuan responded in a vague and mysterious manner. "Ling Xuan, look a little further ahead. Many times the value of a piece of land does not lie in the real estate, but in the people. If everyone feels that the house in Ma Du Yanjing is worth it, then it will be worth it. Otherwise, if no one wants to live there, its value will drop. Human emotions are very complex, so we have to show them that refunding them not only does not cause a loss, but also earns a large sum. Immediately, they will see that refunding money is just a foolish act. Only $30 billion in the future, we can earn more than that." Finally, Yu Ling Xuan understood Shen Yuan's subtle intention. Immediately, she felt absolute admiration for him, understood that I understand boss's plan now. I must cooperate according to his instructions immediately. The more generous the compensation, the more favorable the conditions. People will believe that Fee Dun Corporation is stronger. The film studio project will be more promising. The house purchase restriction order will only push the potential and value even higher. Ma Zhou Yanjing is a vivid example. However, the house purchase restriction orders in these areas are stricter. This explanation is completely rational. With a boss with such vision and excellent strategy, his competitors are truly pitiful. After thoughtful consideration, a strong determination ignited in Yu Ling Xuan's heart. "Rest assured, boss, I understand your intention. I will follow your instructions immediately." At this point, Chen Yuan had finished his 7th bowl of noodles just to synchronize with Yu Ling Xuan. However, when he heard this, he felt something was amiss. What meaning returning money also has meaning. But in the end, Ling Xuan understood my anguish, ready to cooperate with me in spending money. This feeling can only be described as truly refreshing. After the phone was cut off for less than 15 seconds, Yu Ling Xuan's phone suddenly rang. "Your account ending in 7687 has just received $200 billion. Holy shit. Is this true? Am I dreaming? Is this really $200 billion? Yu Ling Xuan looked like his eyes were about to pop out. At this moment, Yu Ling Xuan felt as if his mind was being hit by a strong shock, only able to stare wide-eyed, open-mouthed. Even his soul felt trembling. After settling down with the familiar graceful features in Yu Ling Xuan's heart, emotions surged like continuous waves. With $200 billion in hand, all risks become nothing, like holding a knife to slaughter a chicken. Giving orders to the world is really too easy. But to mobilize such a huge amount of money, a boss must have anticipated this situation. He always appears nonchalant and only cares about having fun. But in reality, he has silently sacrificed too much where no one can see. He has endured all the pressure for me, even lowering himself to do trivial tasks. Boss, I will not let you down. You have placed the greatest trust in me, and I will not disappoint you any further. After experiencing a wave of self-reflection, Yu Ling Xuan's heart suddenly beat fervently in his chest. The feeling of love began to spread throughout his body, making every cell brimming with vitality. Yu Ling Xuan's favorite degree has reached 99 points, rewarding a bonus of 10 points, current bonus points 249. In a corner of Madu, outside Lai Jiamu's villa, upon hearing news of the film city in Tiananmen, he was immediately stunned and amazed. What? The 3 cities restrict buying houses. Why suddenly like this? Really complicated. But it is still not the right time. Fei Dun has not fallen into a high debt situation yet, and the cash flow is still very stable. If I intervene at this time, I cannot bring about a fatal blow to achieve that. Have to wait until the majority of the film city projects enter the peak phase, causing them to sink deep into debt and be dragged down by huge debts. It is still too early. Could it be that Chen Yuan has realized my plan and therefore suffered some losses to create this limit order? Damn it, this kid is too cautious. Analyzing Shen Yuan's intentions, Lai Jiamu spoke firmly and immediately contacted large financial corporations. I want to hold an emergency meeting to lift this house purchase restriction order. Otherwise, our plans will fail, understand, young master. Lai Jiamu then thought about the humiliation Shen Yuan brought, his face now becoming even more terrifying. Damn, this is not what I wanted. With the city's film industry developing in this direction, the influence of large financial corporations will weaken, and this Chen Yuan will realize the benefits of limiting home purchases leading to sustainable development for the film city. No, must pressure the leaders of the three cities to revoke the home purchase restriction order.